Hi, my name is Tamisha, and I'm Tayshon's mom. Tayshon was a student of Miss Campbell for kindergarten and first grade.
My name's Tayshon, and I'm in the third grade now.
Well, thanks for joining me.
No problem.
I would love to hear your perspective about why relationships are so important between students, teachers, and families.
I think it's important because it helps the child move forward. Basically, if I'm communicating with the teacher could tell me things that he's struggling with, so I can try and help him at home.
Nice. And what are some ways that teachers can support students as far as academically, emotionally, or any way in general?
I think because different kids are on different levels. So I would say, for example, if Tayshon was struggling with like a certain subject, maybe the teacher could provide me with ideas that I can help him with at home. Mm-hmm. Like I remember used to give me certain activities I could work with him at home.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad those were helpful.
Yeah.
And I know that right now we are kind of in a weird place as far as school goes.
Right.
And Tayshon, can I ask you about what was your experience with distant learning towards the end of second grade?
I mean, it was pretty sad.
It was pretty sad? Why was it sad?
Because when I had a lot of fun, like in the first grade and stuff, and then when it started happening, I got sad because I couldn't see really all my friends.
Sure. How were your online classes when you met up with your teacher?
Funny.
Why were they funny?
Because, and it was very fun because I got to see my friends.
How do you feel teachers and schools could support parents and families during this pandemic?
The number one thing I could think of is communication. I think we all need to be on the same page because at the end of the day, I know we're in a pandemic, but education is still important. And so one thing during this pandemic that I always worry about is he been challenged enough? And then I'm like, okay, he's gonna be in the third grade. I don't want him falling behind, but then I feel like I really don't know where he should be at, you know, because I'm not, a teacher. So I think communication and one-on-one communication versus just having the whole class in a Zoom meeting is more important.
So do you feel like it was challenging transitioning from him going to school every day to him being at home and doing this remote learning?
Yeah, because I think in the beginning, no one knew how hard it was being a teacher. So just trying to, like in the beginning, I'm like, okay, fine, I'm just gonna, set a schedule. It didn't work out. The schedule didn't work out at all. And then I noticed he's not as
engaged.
Exactly. I don't think he takes it as serious because it's a computer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So moving forward, are you comfortable with him going back in the classroom, or would you prefer him to continue this distant learning?
To be honest, I'm scared for him to go back right now because of everything that's going on. But as far as his education, I don't think he'll get the best education at home through distant learning.
Yeah. And why is that?
I just, like some of the work, to be honest, that he's had so far, I feel like it wasn't a challenge at all. And that's another reason why I feel like he didn't take it as serious, because it was like, oh, I just got to do this and I'll be done. So, I mean, reading, he does that. He has a lot of books. But
he's a really good reader.
Yeah, we have a lot of books. But as far as like, there's certain things that needs to challenge him for him to get, especially third grade. He's already in third grade.
I can't believe he's in
third
grade.
He couldn't wait to say that either.
Oh, you're excited? Oh my gosh. I can't believe I saw you grow up from kindergarten to first grade and now you're in third grade.
Super tall.
Man, and I think it was so special that I got to spend those 2 years with him. Can you talk about that experience, and do you think it was helpful for him to be with the same teacher?
So at first that was like something new to me, having the same teacher for 2 years, but like, to be honest, I wish it kind of stayed that way because you guys grew a relationship. I feel like you got to know him. He grew really comfortable with you. And then going to another teacher, the expectations are different. So it was certain things that I expected from her because you provided. You know what I'm saying? You were really engaged in their learning, their education. So when I get another teacher that's not like that, you know, it's kind of like, so.
Yeah, thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I definitely think that it's so special that I had the opportunity to build that relationship with you guys, and you know, I'm pretty close with your whole family,
right?
Because I had his cousin for those 2 years as well. I definitely encourage that model. I know that you mentioned that there was some form of Zoom meetings online. So what was your experience with that?
So basically how it was, we'll have a time already scheduled, and then you just basically log into the Zoom meeting. But most of the time it would just be me, Tayshon, and like 2 other students. A lot of times it was just me, Tayshon, and 1 other student and the teacher. So I feel like, I don't know if parents had to work. That's another thing. It was in the middle of the day. So the times I was doing it, I had to take off work for that time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And luckily, you know, my boss was okay with me because she understood she had to do the same thing. But looking at the meetings, I think a lot of parents couldn't, or maybe they just didn't care to, but it wasn't successful at all.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
You know, I understand that there's so many moving parts with this whole distant learning thing, and how do you feel about there's a proposed model of children going back to school, or like a hybrid model where children go back to school sometimes and they do some of their learning online. So what do you think would be the best scenario moving forward in trying to continue his education?
It's just scary to say because I don't know. The only thing that I'm worried about is like the coronavirus. So like I don't know how safe it is yet. So I think to be honest, next month I'm not comfortable with him going back, but I kind of want to see how it plays out, how everything plays out. It's just, you get from some people, oh, it's getting better, then it's getting worse. So it's like I'm scared to put him back there, but definitely maybe sometimes going and then doing some at home, because I know that it plays a big role in his education. Yeah. So if it wasn't for the coronavirus, all day stay at school all day. Right, because I feel like he can't get what he needs to be successful from home.
Do you think it's important for teachers to build relationships with students outside of the classroom?
I do because for example, my son is shy, so but he's really comfortable around you. He'll, you know, open up, and like you came to his games, his basketball games, birthday parties. My family got to know you, so it was more like on a different level. And I feel like nowadays kids don't open up a lot, so I feel like as a teacher they should have a special type of relationship, you know, and it'll help them progress too.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.